गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुस्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. ಓ 11:10. ಅದು ಏಕೆ ಇದು ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ? ಆಯಿತು. ಓಂ the dream world being imaginary means a false appearance. With such a false world, the Atma in the dream, the consciousness in the dream, cannot be called a dual, cannot be called a Dvaita. That means it doesn't have that false appearance doesn't constitute an entity second to Atma. In dream, it doesn't constitute an Atma second to the consciousness. It being only a false appearance, Atma alone is. The idea is dream is false is already understood. Okay, it is already understood. Therefore, the consciousness in dream is not at the level of the world, because world itself doesn't exist. When the world doesn't exist, the consciousness is not seconded. Seconded means, say that the word literal translation, sadvitiyaha, having a second one. Consciousness doesn't have a second entity other than itself. It means consciousness alone is. In dream, it is easy to understand. Nahi mayamayena vasana prapanchena tat sakshi. With that false world, the sakshi doesn't become a dvaita sakshi. Means it doesn't have a second one. Swapna drishta putrena saputrattvamiva devadattasya. Devadatta has no children. Do you know that? You don't know. You go and talk to him. Devadatta has no children. So he has been looking for it, then what to do? Meeting the doctors and then going to temples, doing puja, and he wanted to have children. That fellow, one day he dreamt and he had a child in his dream. Does he become a father with his dream child? With his dream child, does he become a father? Dream child is no child. Okay, this is what Swamiji gives an example. Swapna drishta putrena saputratvam devadattasya. By finding a child, by finding a son in dream, Devadatta, who was otherwise childless, would not become a father with his dream child. Similarly, why? Because dreamy things are non-existent. So you can't call dream things as real things. Therefore, atayeva shrutyantare swapnantam jagaritantam chubhau yenanupashyati mahantam vibhumatmanam matva dhiro nashochati. Next point. Therefore, when the dream world is non-existent, consciousness is pure without a second entity. That means it is alone. The same consciousness is found even in waking also. Because the consciousness of the entire waking state. Means first we have to see the Vaishwanara. The first day we saw that the wakeful consciousness also is similar. It is a pure, independent, and it is not of the same level with the world. World is too superficial, consciousness is too independent. World is too superficial. Waking world also. Means the waking world doesn't exist at the same level of consciousness in which the waking world is appearing. Okay? Because the wakeful consciousness is illumining the world as a whole, waking world. It is illumining the waking world as a whole, therefore it is not part of the waking state, means it is not a subject within the waking state, because a subject within the state knows objects one by one, doesn't know the waking state as a whole. See, waking individual doesn't know the waking state as a whole. He knows only one or two things within the waking world, one by one he knows. Now, other than this waking individual, look at the wakeful consciousness. Wakeful consciousness is all pervading. It knows the entire waking state. When it knows the entire waking state, where does it exist in relation to the waking state? In relation to the waking state, it is not within the state. In fact, it pervades the entire state. When it pervades the entire state, waking state itself comes within the consciousness. See, this is the difference. Wakeful consciousness is a part of the waking world, or the waking world is appearing within the wakeful consciousness. This shift has to take place. This is an important shift. The waking world, including the waking individual, are appearing within the wakeful consciousness. So wakeful consciousness is all pervasive. It pervades the entire state, one point. Secondly, it is independent of the waking world. Okay? That means it doesn't depend upon the object. It doesn't depend upon the object. Object itself depends upon the consciousness. Because objects gets illumined if it is, see, the wakeful consciousness is so independent. Independent means what? Independent means if the object is there, it gets illumined. If it is not there, still illumination continues. See, that's the difference. The wakeful consciousness is independent in the sense, if there is an object, it knows. If object is not there, it knows that there is nothing. The consciousness knows. If the thing is there, it knows. If it is not there, also it knows. Means consciousness continues to be consciousness in spite of the external object, in spite of the state. State may be there, may not be there. See, this is independence. State may be there, may not be there. But the consciousness continues to be conscious. In spite of the world, if world is there, it gets illumined. If it is not there, it doesn't matter. It continues like before. It's like a light. See the light. If the light is on, if the people are here, we get illumined. We become visible. If we all go away, it becomes empty. What happens? Light disappears. It continues to illumine. That means it is independent of the people and things. If things are there, it illumines. If they are not there, still it continues. Nataka Deepa. In Panchadashi, Vidyaranya Swami's Panchadashi book, there is one chapter called Nataka Deepa. Nataka Deepa means a lamp in a drama theatre. A lamp of a theatre. In the theatre, on the platform, if the Nartaki, the woman, dancer dances, all the various postures of the dancer, it illumines. If the dancer goes away, the empty theatre also it illumines. That means the Nataka Deepa, the light of the theatre continues to illumine whether the dancer is there or not. This is what we have to say. Wakeful consciousness is pervading the entire, not like an individual. Waking individual is different. See the contrast. Waking individual lives at the level of the waking objects. Waking individual interacts with the waking objects and waking people. He influences them and he gets influenced also. He influences them, uses them, and they also influence him. So the waking individual interacts with the waking objects within space and time. Then he uses them, he manipulates them, he changes them, modifies them. Some of them he reproduces, some of them breaks off, some of them throws away, some of them keeps away. So he interacts with them, he manipulates them, and they also influence him. That's why he wants to run away. He wants to run away when they influence him. Therefore, waking individual lives at the same level of waking objects and waking people, waking events, waking situations, waking people, waking things. So he interacts with them because he is one of them, in fact. In short, he is one of them. Waking individual is one of the waking things. He is part of them. He is one of them. He is part of them, therefore he interacts with them, they influence him and he influences. But the wakeful consciousness is the whole consciousness. Consciousness of the entire waking state is not part of the waking state. It is independent. It illumines the entire waking state. Therefore, when there is waking world, it gets illumined. It is not particular about the details of the waking state. See, wakeful consciousness is not particular about which object it is watching, which thing it is interacting with, because it is not interacting with them. It's like light is not interacting with us because it is on. Whether people come and go, it is immaterial. When sun is illumining. If the people are there, they get the light. If you close your eyes, sun doesn't get affected. If you close your door, you will be in dark, sun won't be affected, sun will be illuminating like before. Sun is independent. How many people are watching me? See, here I am the sun, I am illuminating, nobody respects me, everybody gets Nobel Prize, Bharata Ratna, all these awards, nobody gives me any award to me, nobody calls me great, respectable at all, it doesn't bother, because he illumines, it is his nature. Whether others look at me, recognize me, acknowledge me or not, whether they acknowledge me or not, he keeps, because he is independent of others' acknowledgement. He is independent of others' rejection or acknowledgement, both respect and disrespect. When I am independent of others' acknowledgement, others' respect, their honoring, acknowledging or dishonoring, both don't make any difference to me. I am what I am. I am what I am in spite of what others are. Therefore, I don't get influenced. Similarly, the wakeful consciousness is not a part of the waking world, is not one of them. It doesn't get affected because it illumines all the things, both subject and object. It illumines subject and object together. It illumines both subject and object together. Entirely it pervades. Second, it is independent. When it is independent, that makes a difference. It pervades the entire waking state. Waking state means waking world. So waking time and place also within the wakeful consciousness. Second, it is independent. Independent means Vaishwanara is independent. That means he is consciousness not because of the world, but he is consciousness because he is consciousness. World is world only in his consciousness. See, world appears as a world because of his consciousness. It's like gold is gold not because of the ornament. Ornament is ornament because of the gold. Ornament is only a shape of the gold. A shape of the gold depends upon the gold. Gold doesn't depend upon the shape. Because even if you melt away the ornament shape, still gold continues. The water doesn't depend upon the wave. Wave depends upon water. The waves depend upon water. Water doesn't depend upon waves. Because water is independent of waves. It means water may appear as a wave even if the wave shape, the shape of the wave goes away, still water is water. Water doesn't depend upon, if it depended upon a particular shape alone, if the shape goes away, water disappears. Water evaporates, it doesn't evaporate. Similarly, consciousness is independent of the waking state. Therefore, it is at another level. Waking world is within it. Waking world, waking subject and the object are within the wakeful consciousness. Therefore, wakeful consciousness is at another level. Waking world is another level, just like a dream. Dream is at a lower level. Dream consciousness is a all-pervading the dream, independent of the dream world. Similarly, wakeful consciousness is independent of the waking world. Now, talking about that consciousness, which is all-pervasive, which is independent, talking about that, look from that standpoint of take that consciousness and talk about the world, both the worlds, waking world and dream world. What happens? When the waking world is within the same consciousness, dream world can't exist, because you can't simultaneously dream and waking. Can we? Can we dream and wake simultaneously? We can't. When the waking world is illumined by the consciousness, the waking world appears. Dream is not there. When we are illumining, when the same consciousness is illumining the dream, there is no waking world. When it is illumining the waking world, there is no dream world. It can only illumine one of them. That means the world can be one of them, but illumination continues. The consciousness continues, whether it is waking or dream, it is a material. Whether waking or dream, it is same like before. Whether it is like light is here, when somebody comes, it illumines. This fellow goes away, another person comes, it illumines. It doesn't say that I don't like this fellow, I'll get off, I'll switch off, I'll become dark. It won't say. Whoever comes, it illumines. Isn't it? In fact, it is not even aware that somebody has come. Is it aware? Oh, somebody has come. It doesn't even know. It illumines like before. Like sun. You are looking at sun, you are talking about the sun. The sun doesn't become happy. The sun and the sky. Oh, they are talking about me, so how I become important? At least somebody in India talking about me, I feel very happy. Does he ever say? Doesn't even know. Because he is just illumination on his own. Similarly, the consciousness is independent of the waking world. If it is the waking world to receive the help and feel happy. Waking world, when it gets illuminated, because waking world appears as a waking world, it feels happy, basking in the light of consciousness, basking in the light of sakshi, witnessing consciousness. When it receives the illumination, waking world appears. When the waking world dissolves, dream appears. Then dream dissolves means disappears, that's all. It goes, where does it go? When there is no wakeful world, when there is no waking world, where does it go? It merges into consciousness alone. It only disappears. Then the dream world appears. Then dream world disappears. Then waking appears. Waking and dream and one after the other, they keep alternating within the consciousness. But consciousness is one, illumining both. Illumining both. So consciousness itself, there is no sequence for consciousness, one important point. Consciousness doesn't see that one after the other. If consciousness sees the sequence, then consciousness is living in a sequence. Consciousness has no time. It is timeless existence. It exists, and its very nature of consciousness is changeless. It is not a moving thing. Like water is moving, it is not a changing consciousness. Okay? When waking comes, when it is illumining the waking, does consciousness appear in one way? And when it is illumining the dream, it becomes another way. Then the consciousness would be changing two states. Consciousness doesn't have states. Therefore, it is not one way when illumining the waking. It is not another way when it is illumining the dream. In fact, it is one. It is changeless. It is just consciousness. Waking and dream from the waking standpoint, from the dream standpoint. Consciousness itself is independent. It is independent of two states. Therefore, The states appear, disappear. Like wave appears, where does it come? It comes from water alone. It appears from the water, dissolves into water. Appears, goes away. Appears, melts away. Appears and melts away. Similarly, things appear in consciousness. Therefore, they melt away also within consciousness. Where do they go? Do they go outside consciousness? There is no such thing called outside. You imagine outside consciousness. You imagine unconsciousness. How can you imagine? You are the consciousness. Can consciousness imagine unconsciousness? If you imagine, then you are conscious. That becomes conscious only. You can't imagine unconscious. It means consciousness imagining its own absence. Can you imagine your own absence? If you imagine, then you are existing. So absence is meaningless. The word absence is only another existence only. So therefore, consciousness cannot imagine its own absence. You cannot imagine your own absence. Therefore, your existence is natural. Nobody can stop it. It is choiceless. Consciousness is choiceless, changeless and choiceless. It has no change. You can't choose it. Sometimes existing, sometimes non-existing. It has no choice. It is choiceless consciousness. It is eternal, ever-existing consciousness. Therefore, the entire wakeful consciousness, our mistake is, we see the wakeful consciousness is within the waking state. Okay. And it has become an individual watching the world, one by one, one by one. We think the entire wakeful consciousness has become a waking individual. You have to understand, waking individual is not the truth. It is a limited, wrong appearance, falsely taken as a limited. So what you are taking as a waking individual, it will go deeply into it. You see that it is outside the state. It is the entire consciousness. It is the entire existence. So the pure wakeful consciousness is the existence. It gives the existence to the entire waking state. It is the existence. It gives existence to the entire waking state. Waking state disappears, but it's the content, the truth of the waking state, the existence of the waking state is the Sakshi. The witnessing consciousness is the existence of the entire world. World disappears, existence doesn't disappear. See, when you see this book, even while you are seeing the book is, paper is, table is, anything chair is, a human being is, a carpet is, door is, wall is, book, anything you experience as is. The is means existence. The existence is common basis of all the objects. The shape disappears. Its existence appears in the form of another object. See, the book form goes away. When you are looking at the book, you see the book is existing. When you shift to the table, what are you shifting? You are only shifting the shape. The existence of the book doesn't go away. The existence appears in the form of table. This is Vedanta. The existence only removes the shape, form of it, the shape of it, but the existence appears as table. You go to another one. You keep on shifting to another objects. Objects means you are only shifting the shapes. Underlying existence is one, uniform, continuous. Like in a TV screen, the light is one. Light is one and continuous. The pictures come and go away. Other pictures come, goes away. The colors, forms come and go away. The light is continuing. If the TV station power goes off, pictures go off, but the light continues. Because light is the existence of the pictures. Light is the existence, the reality. Similarly, water is the existence of wave. Wave has no existence. Wave has only appearance. What is the existence of wave? Water is the existence of wave. See the difference. Wave is only appearance. Its existence is water. Its truth is water. Its reality is water. Wave is only an appearance. Therefore, similarly, the Sakshi is the existence of waking state. Just as the same Sakshi is the existence of dream. Who is the existence? Existence means the reality. Who is the existence of dream world? The entire dream, where does it appear? Where does it come from? Me. I am the basis. Every experience, every thought of dream is me. I am the basis. I constitutes the bottom. I constitute the basis. Okay, let us say. I constitute the basis, the substratum. I constitute the substratum of every thought and every appearance, every form, every shape. Every thought, every event, every situation, I constitute its existence. So therefore, the form disappears, but existence continues. It may appear in another form, in another form, another form. The form changes. The existence is continuous, unbroken. It doesn't get destroyed. It continues. Even if all the forms disappear, I wake up. See, forms change. Of what? Forms of me only. When the water appears in one form, one wave, it changes to another wave, another wave, another wave, another wave. But water continues in all through the waves. In all through the waves, same water continues. So water is the existence of wave. Water is the truth of the wave. Similarly, the existence is Sakshi, the witnessing consciousness is the existence of the dream world, existence of the waking world. Therefore, the very existing or the consciousness appears as a waking world, appearance gets erased. Like in a what is a canvas, on a canvas you paint, or a board you write something. In some board you write with some pen or with some chalk piece you write something. You erase it, but the board is a real existence. On the board, on the canvas, painting appears. You erase the painting, but canvas continues. Canvas is the reality. Canvas is the existence of all painting, all pictures. Similarly, here, the wakeful consciousness is independent of the waking state. It is the existence of the waking state. It illumines and gives the existence. It gives its own existence, lends its own existence to the appearance. If it withdraws, appearance disappears. It is the consciousness, it is the witnessing consciousness that gives its existence, lends its existence to the appearances. All the appearances appear, they disappear, existence remains like before. See, so we have to see the existence is common, shapeless, formless. It is common to all, not only common to all, it is the content of all the world, content of all shapes, it is the truth of all the shapes, it is the existence of all the shapes. Therefore, that existence is the existence of the waking world, existence of the dream world. It is the content of the dream world, content of the waking world. It is the truth of the waking world, it is the truth of the dream world. Itself is neither. Means it swallows both. It pervades both. When you pervade, what happens? You swallow. When you pervade both, you swallow. So therefore, it pervades the entire waking state, dream state too simultaneously because it is independent. It doesn't depend upon the state because consciousness can exist. Now, wakeful consciousness, if it were to depend on waking state, when the waking state goes away, consciousness should disappear. We see consciousness is beyond the waking state. This is important. Consciousness is beyond because waking ends. Still you can understand the end of the waking because dream is another conscious state only. That means the same consciousness which was watching, which was illumining the waking world, it understands the ending of the waking world. It understands the ending means I survive the ending of waking world. I survive. When the waking world ends, I survive. Therefore, my consciousness extends beyond the waking state. It illumines the waking state, but it extends beyond. It illumines the waking state. That means waking state cannot exist without the illumination, without the witnessing consciousness. Because it has to depend on me only. Me means witnessing consciousness. But wakeful consciousness, witnessing consciousness survives That means survives means what? I can understand the end of the waking world. I can see the edges of the waking world. Waking world ends. How do you know ends? Because you have got another world, dream. Oh, the same consciousness is able to illumine another world. That means this world ended. Yes, world ends, I survived. The wakeful consciousness, though it was illumining through the waking world, it was forming the content. It was giving the existence to the waking world, yet it survives the waking world. Therefore, in our experience, we have a consciousness which extends beyond the waking and illumines the dream. It extends beyond the dream and illumines the waking. That means it extends beyond both. It extends beyond waking, beyond dream. That means both of them become small within the consciousness. Waking state and dream state, both of them get included within the consciousness. Consciousness is independent. Okay. This is what he says. Here, Kathopanishad mantra. Swamiji is quoting another Upanishad mantra. Swapnantam jagaritantam ubhau yena anupashyati. That witnessing principle, that witnessing consciousness witnesses the waking content. Content means things. The content of the waking, content means all the things, all the shapes, all the experiences. Content of the waking state, swapnantam, he is using the word anta. Sanskrit, therefore I am using content. Anta means content. The content of the waking world, the content of the dream world, it is aware of the both. It is not limited to any one, but independent of both. Okay, the witnessing consciousness is independent of both. But commonly, common man, where he misses, the misunderstanding is, he thinks that consciousness is limited to one state. It doesn't take dream into consideration. My consciousness is beyond the waking and aware of the dream. That means my consciousness is not limited to waking. It is a fact of his, a deep-seated fact. It is a fact deeply in your anubhava, in your experience, but he undermines it, he ignores it, doesn't take into consideration. But he thinks that I am in waking state alone. If the waking is not there, I don't exist. This is a misunderstanding. That means he is ignoring his own a deeper experience, a much deeper. He is ignoring the deeper experience, therefore his conclusion is superficial. That I am limited to waking state alone. His conclusion, his understanding of himself is too superficial because he looks at himself as a waking individual. But you are more than that. He says, no, I am only this much. That means he refuses to watch, he refuses to observe much deeper in him. If he observes, waking individual is one small aspect of me. Waking individual is small aspect of wakeful consciousness, a small aspect. Waking individual and the waking world or waking things are one small aspect of the entire witnessing consciousness. Witnessing consciousness is much vaster and independent. So waking individual and the waking world constitutes a small aspect, a small piece, a small selected piece of the same consciousness, a small selective view of a selected view, a small view of the same infinite consciousness. Witnessing consciousness is infinite. The same thing is seen as a limited and selective. The seeing it as a limited and selective is individuality. That is jiva, that is samsara. And he has to understand, I am not this limited, I am only seeing myself in a smaller way. You come to the edge, your consciousness is extending beyond the edges, beyond the ends. Similarly, you are extending beyond the waking state. Not only you are extending beyond the waking individual, you are extending, you are pervading and extending. Not only you are extending beyond the waking individual, you are extending the beyond the waking state. Okay. This point he says, Swapnantam jagaritantam ubhau yena anupashyati. Okay. Mahantam vibhamatma. He is a Mahan. Mahan means he is infinite. Mahantam vibhumatmanam. Mahantam, infinite means, how do you think infinite? Infinite means your mind can't imagine its size. Means it is not available for your mind to catch its size. How much it is? The mind fails. How much it is, you think of it? How big is the consciousness? Because mind itself is dissolves into consciousness. It's like 1 liter pot tries to measure the ocean. What happens? It tries to, each time tries to measure, it dissolves into ocean instead of measuring it. Instead of measuring it, it dissolves. That means your 1 liter pot fails to measure. 1 liter pot fails to measure the ocean. That means ocean is something more. Don't use the liter pot itself disappears into it. So not only liter pot, no measure, no length, no measure, no quantity can measure it, because all quantities disappear into ocean. So how do you understand infinity? All quantities dissolve into it. Itself cannot be quantified. It cannot be measured. You can't measure its dimension. All dimensions dissolve into it. All dimensions get included in it. This is infinity. The consciousness is not infinity because you can't think of its dimension. Because any dimension is a thought. Thought is within consciousness. Because consciousness is illumining a thought. Any thought means a dimension. And without thought, you can't think of any dimension. Can you think of a dimension without thought? All thoughts are only dimension. All dimensions are thoughts. Any dimension is only a thought. Dimension andre size, parimana. Dimension andre parimana. Any dimension is only a thought. Therefore, consciousness is not limited to any thought, because thought is only one aspect of a consciousness. It is one piece of consciousness, one small aspect of consciousness. Yet consciousness extends beyond thought, because when there is no thought, consciousness is. Because it knows more than the thought, because you are aware of absence of thought. You are aware of ending of thought. Thought ends, but you are aware. Again thought comes, oh, thought has come. That means you are aware of the edges of thought, coming and going of thought. That means consciousness is extending beyond thought, more than the thought, larger than the thought. That means larger than dimension. So any dimension dissolves into consciousness. Therefore, in this sense we call infinity. Otherwise, can you conceive infinity? Infinity is not a thought. You can't conceive. It is not a conception. You can only say all conceptions fail. But it is. It is where no conception can conceive it. That's what infinity. This is how we have to understand. That means ultimately it is the mind that is the problem. Mind creates. Mind alone divides, creates. Mind selects. It is the mind. Measures. So we have to transcend the very field of the mind. The mind is a field of measuring, relating. Measuring, relating, and selecting. This is the mind. Mind does only this thing. It doesn't know any other thing. And it thinks that I am superior, I know everything. That is arrogance of mind. Because mind knows limited thing. It can only measure. It can only see relationships. It can measure, it can relate, it can select. But it can't, without selecting means dividing. What does the selecting mean? Selecting means this much and leave out the past, leave out the other part, take one part and leave out the other part. Selection means dividing. Mind divides. It selects this much and leaves out the remaining. This much and remaining is division. Mind can only divide. You say don't divide, you say mind disappears. Mind cannot live without dividing it. Mind means division. Mind can only divide. Okay, therefore we have to understand the limitations of mind. More you understand, more the consciousness is understood as independent of mind. It transcends the mind. Mind looks too small. Like your liter pot disappears into ocean, mind becomes a small liter pot disappears into infinite consciousness. Mind disappears. Mind is a small one. It only measures, divides, relates, measuring, dividing, relating, selecting, this is mind. That's all. This is what mind is. And when you use mind, that's why when you use mind, when you try to learn through mind, understand through mind, you can only do these things. All science lives within this alone. Science lives within this because it uses the mind. Time, space, relationship, you only live within that. Beyond that, mind cannot think. They say it doesn't exist. A scientist is equal to mind. Whatever mind does, the same scientist does. Because mind can't go beyond its limitations, its relationships, its own divisions. Therefore, scientist cannot go. That means scientist is equal to mind. Mind can't go beyond it. Scientist also can't go beyond his mind. Therefore, scientist means any worldly. Psychology also same thing, whether science or psychology. It's a Vedanta alone, it's totally different subject. Okay. Therefore, mind, consciousness, the witnessing consciousness, infinite. I have to explain all this because otherwise when we say infinite, you keep conceiving. We have to avoid the conception. That's why we have to explain all these things. We have to explain in this way. We have to explain what is infinity without allowing you to make a concept. So that is what the teacher's job is. Otherwise you can read the books. You read the book, you get a conception. You go to Guru because Guru doesn't allow you to make a conception. You cannot conceive it. You can't make conception. It doesn't allow you. Because the conceiving mind has to be dropped, then you see the infinity. So he has to explain the infinity. Infinity is consciousness. You have to explain the infinity where the mind doesn't interfere. Mind doesn't come. Mind interferes, then the whole infinity drops. It becomes small and limited. So that we have to help you to drop the mind, show the limitations of mind, leave out the mind, throw away the mind and stand as consciousness. That's where, in fact, Guru's need is only this much. The purpose of Guru is only this much. Otherwise, we can read books on our own. Otherwise, why should you people come so far places, spending so much of money, taking so much of trouble, struggling hard, why do they come from so many thousands of kilometers? Because the book doesn't help. Because who reads the book? Your mind reads the book. Whatever the mind's method of its relationship, dividing, measuring, it uses the same thing. You read the book, your mind reads. Mind has the same nature and it keeps on making concepts. And you won't understand. You say, limited is concept, infinite is another concept. Oh my God. Limited is one concept, infinity is another concept. Both are concept, mind alone remains. What is the use? They say, I read all the books, I don't understand Vedanta. Tell me how to understand. I say, tell me which book I can understand. I say, any book you read. Whatever book I suggest, you read through your mind. And your mind interferes and you make another concept. Any book I suggest, all Vedas, if there are only 4 Vedas, even if you got 100 Vedas, you will be doing the same thing. Because the purpose is we have to help you to drop the mind, the very nature of the mind which is interfering. The mind is interfering. That's where Guru means, who is the Guru? There is no person, such thing called Guru. Guru is a person for whom the mind is not interfering. He understands things without the interference of his mind. Such person can help you drop your mind, can help you can help you see that the mind doesn't interfere. That's a simple thing. Anybody. He can be anybody, anywhere on the world, in any language he speaks. So the limitations of mind you understand and help you to see there is consciousness, there is an experience where mind doesn't interfere. The relationship is not there, measuring is not there, selecting is not there, dividing is not there. Yet it is there. It is a spontaneous experience. It is so natural. So mind cannot conceive it, but mind exists within that consciousness. The consciousness is independent and it is self-existent. You don't need to prove. It is self-proven. That witnessing consciousness is self-existing. It doesn't need any proof. No mind can prove it. No sense organ can prove it. Nor it needs a proof. Because that is the basis. The consciousness is the self-evident. That's why we say it is self-proven. It is self-established. You don't need to establish it. Who is to establish mind? Can the mind go and establish consciousness? Consciousness is the basis on which mind functions. So conscious mind itself depends upon consciousness. Consciousness is independent. Therefore, it is self-existing, self-proven fact. There should be something self-proven. Taking that as a basis, you measure. See, what is measurement? You take a scale. Scale of what is that? 1 foot with 12 inches. This is how in India we do. So 1 foot with 12 inches. Take one scale and then measure. But how do you know that this scale? That's why we have to take it for granted. Because somebody gave you this scale, take this scale and keep on measuring everybody with the help of this scale. But how do you know this scale is right? That nobody asked me. That's what I say. You take something for granted. You question that. Oh, the scale itself is measured by something else. Here, mind is measuring everything. We are asking, who are you to measure? What is your standard? What is your reality? Mind will be unable to answer, because mind depends upon the consciousness. The witnessing consciousness is a real independent. It is immeasurable. It is self-existing. It is independent, self-existing, self-proven. On that basis, mind is working. But mind interferes. It thinks that I am the consciousness. Mind sits in place of consciousness and behaves as if I am the consciousness. That fellow is only a false fellow. The mind or the individuality. He is a false person, sitting in place of witnessing consciousness and claiming that I am witnessing consciousness. I judge everybody. I measure everybody. What I say is right. But many times mind goes wrong. And say, why do I go wrong? It doesn't understand. It tries to defend and justify, again talks. He is so bold. He keeps on talking. But he never admits his mistake, but keeps on talking. That is mind. Mind keeps on talking. When mind fails many times, but it doesn't bother, still keeps on talking boldly. And judges others, like the liter pot goes, and you dip the ocean and take out liter, throw away, again dip, again. He says 100 times. He says, there is no ocean. How much is ocean? Ocean is 1 liter, he told. He said, how do you know 1 liter? Yes, I have measured. With my own experience, it's only 1 liter. There is nothing more than 1 liter. You might have, then somebody says, you might have not measured properly. Have you tried? Yes, I have tried. How many times? Number of times I have tried. Try once again. I say 100 times I have tried. I found whole ocean is only 1 liter. You have got only 1 liter pot. What can you do? It can only show 1 liter. But the fool is unable to understand ocean is swallowing it. So the liter is unable to measure the liter pot judges the sea, ocean. The liter pot judges ocean. But thing is, it is the ocean that should judge the liter pot. So mind is judging the consciousness, Atma, witnessing consciousness. In fact, witnessing consciousness should judge the mind. That's what is Vedanta. Vedanta wants you to say, take the standard as witnessing consciousness, then the measure what is mind. Mind is nothing, world is nothing, states are nothing, time and space are nothing, they are superficial appearances. I am the standard. It is the witnessing consciousness that should stand as a standard. This is where you need a guru. Book you read, keep on explaining concept after concept to concept. All Vedanta, all philosophy becomes concepts. That's why you have got many philosophers. One fellow has got one concept, other fellow has another concept. They keep on quarreling, they keep on judging, they keep on refuting each other. Ultimately, they all live in concepts only. Who is final ultimately? Which philosopher is final? Each one judges he alone is right. Each one judges other is wrong. Okay, you bring, that fellow says, an example I am giving. One fellow says, my liter pot, my pot, he doesn't say liter, my pot is a measuring pot. I have measured and I understood. He says, no, your measuring pot is not right. I bring my measuring pot. How much is using pot? My pot is also 1 liter only. He brings his measuring pot and he says, yours is wrong and I will measure it. Okay, if not 1, let us say 2 liters. His pot is 2 liter pot. He measures the ocean and he says, you are wrong, I am correct. What is ocean? 2 liter. There is nothing. Ocean is 2 liter. It's nothing more than 2 liter. And he says, no, I have measured personal, my experience, I am telling you. Out of my experience, I am telling you it is only 1 liter. He says, out of my experience, I am telling you it is 2 liter. The ocean laughs at both the people, isn't it? Ocean laughs at both the people because both of you are dissolving into me. Still you don't learn. You don't learn. So similarly, all conceptions are conception. Conceptions are relative, measuring, dividing. The very nature of mind, which is conceiving, measuring, dividing, selecting, this should not interfere in watching. That's why we say Vedanta Vichara is observation. It is watching. It is investigating. What do you investigate? You understand the very limitations of mind. When you understand the limitations of mind, mind becomes silent. Mind ceases to interfere. Then you come to discover you are that infinite consciousness. You are the witnessing consciousness. There is nothing other than you. All of them are within me, included in me. I am the infinite. Now, no words, no thoughts, nothing is there. It is there independent, self-existing. That is Atma. That infinity is called Brahman. Brahman is another name for infinity. Brahman is a Sanskrit word for infinity. So that infinite consciousness is a self-evident experience of everybody. It is everybody's experience, but it includes everybody also. It includes you, me, and the entire world. So that is the experience of everybody. It is an infinite experience. Okay. All my gurus touched the same thing. Whether Prabhuddhananda Guru, or whether Akhandananda Guru, or when that Gudivada Telugu Guru, one Guru taught me Hindi, another Guru taught me in Sanskrit, another Guru taught me in Telugu. So all of them touched this point a lot. All of them Guru. And when we tried to record, we had in those days there was a tape recorder. Before CDs came, tape recorder, they say, what is this? You remove it, he says. You would not allow. They say, you have to understand right now. As you are listening, you should understand. Right now, you should remove your mind and the world and see yourself as Atma. You have to see right now, not this remote. We were so afraid of him that he would not allow us to record. I said, can recorder help you? Then we would request him, Swamiji, you write something. He said, there are so many hundreds of books. All the books say the same thing. Why do you need books? You have to understand in your life. That's important, not the books. Beginners do the same thing. Oh, you teach so nicely. You write a book, he says. What is there to write in the book? Book doesn't teach you. It is he. It is here. You are directly present. When the self-evident Atma is present, what can the book do? Book can give you another concept alone. Those books are already present. So many books. In India, hundreds and thousands of books. Library building is not enough. So many Vedanta books. All of them talk of the same thing. When we asked one Guru, he says, there are so many books. If I write, there will be another book. It will go into shelf again. What is the point? He said, leave about the books. Learn right now. Sit in front of me and listen. I shall help you how your mind is interfering. I'll remove your mind and show you. He says, as you are listening, you should be able to understand right now that you are Brahma. Until then, he would ask the question while teaching. After this, suddenly he would ask while teaching, after this, what is your next program? He says, I have to go to Hyderabad. Then he would question, oh, do you have a place still? You are here and you have to go to another place. Still you have got a space. Still you have got a space and time. Then you have not understood. You should be free from, I have nowhere to go. There is nothing to go and come. It is one consciousness. No going, no coming, no time, no space. Your mind is not interfering. You are free. Until you say that, he will not leave you. We were two small young boys and he was a very old man, 90 years old man. So we were very much afraid of him. But ultimately he was very kind-hearted. He explained to us all these things. We understood only with his help. Then Prabhuddhananda Swamiji also helped us. Then there was an Akhandananda Swamiji in Hindi. Each one speaks in one language. I had to learn in 3 languages. Sachidananda Swamiji in Sanskrit. I read his books in Sanskrit. That Swamiji in Hindi. Prabhuddhananda Swamiji in English. And our other Swamiji in Telugu. In 4 languages I had to learn. Therefore, see, this shloka says, this mantra, this statement says, Swapnantam jagaritantam ubhau yenanupashyati mahantam vibhumatmanam matvadhiro nashochati. That's why the importance of Guru. Guru means not person here. Person may be anybody. The mind which can His understanding is such that his mind, the relationships of mind do not interfere. When the mind's measuring nature dissolves, see, mind's relationship measuring nature dissolves, what happens? See, mind is mind. It has got subject-object relationship, measuring, selecting, dividing. If this nature is removed, what happens to the mind? That mind becomes a sakshi. See the mind. There is no such thing called mind. The content of the mind, the reality of the mind, the truth of the mind is you. Witnessing consciousness is the truth of the mind. When the very witnessing consciousness seen in a limited measure is called mind. See, the witnessing consciousness seen in a relative way is mind. You remove the relativeness, the non-relational. Absolute is consciousness. Non-relational is absolute. Non-relational is absolute consciousness. So, when you remove these relationships, mind ceases to be mind, then what happens to the mind? Mind becomes a consciousness. Mind becomes Atma. It is the Atma seen in a limited way is called mind. Otherwise, there is no such thing called mind. We think there is mind, there is Atma too. There is nothing. No such thing. Mind and Atma, they are not two things. Similarly, world and Atma are not two things. If you say two, you will not understand. Mind and Atma are not two. The Atma, the witnessing consciousness, the real existence, seen in a limited way, seen in a measuring way, is called mind. When you start seeing in a relations, when you start seeing, thought means a relation. Thought means limitedness. When you are seeing relation, measuring, that is mind. When you remove the thoughts and relations and measurement, then mind ceases to be mind. Mind becomes sakshi. Becomes means mind is understood as sakshi. So sakshi and mind are not two. The one infinity, seen as a measurement, as a relativeness, is mind. Seen as one is sakshi. That's all. Atma and mind are not two. Similarly, world is not world. Same Atma, seen as a subject-object relationship, is world. When you see the object and subject, both these relationships are removed, seen as one existence, pure consciousness, that is Sakshi. The Sakshi itself is appearing as a world. Sakshi itself is appearing as individual. So in a relative sense. So the relativeness is world. Relationship, comparison, contrasting, measuring, time-wise. Measuring is many ways. One is a spatial measuring, another is time-wise measuring, another is object-wise measuring, good and bad and small and big and hard and fast, and then what do you say, the solid and liquid. These are all qualities. Mind through mind alone. These are the mind's way of measuring. All these measurements is mind. When the measurements are removed, mind ceases to be mind and it becomes Sakshi. Therefore, Sakshi and mind are not two. This is what we have to learn. Otherwise, they think mind and Sakshi, don't put two. Mind and Atma, they are not two. World and Atma, they are not two. It's like the pictures and the, you see the reflections and in the mirror. The reflecting medium is the mirror. In the mirror, you see many reflections, colors, forms. Colors, forms and the mirror, are they two? Can you see the colors and forms seen in the mirror? Pull out the mirror and see them separately? Can you take out of the mirror, see them separately? They don't exist apart from mirror. They appear in the mirror, but mirror itself has no colors. The mirror, whatever the colors appear within the mirror, colors and forms and shapes and events, movements also appear in the mirror. But the mirror itself is free from all colors, all shapes, all movements. Mirror is not subject to any forms, colors, shapes, events and etc. All these events appear within the mirror. Mirror is independent. Appearances are false. This is what we say. Brahman is the truth and world is only a false appearance. It is mithya, isn't it? Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Mithya means it is appearance of the same Brahman, the same truth, the same consciousness appearing as a world. Its content, its truth, its existence is Atma. Appearance as a world. So the world is only appearance of Atma alone in that form. taken in a limited measure, taken in a relative sense is the world, taken as it is Atma. Seen as it is Atma, taken in a limited measure is the world. That's all. Like the space. Space itself, you take them as different measures. You see, this is one measure, this is another measure, this is still bigger measure, different shapes. You can say round shape, or you can say, this is a leafy shape, and this is a triangle, or you can say rectangle or round, various shapes of the space. You cut a paper or a cloth and you see the various shapes of the space. You see the room. In the hall, you say the space within the hall is like a block. Isn't it? Like a big, thick, a brick. It looks like a brick. The space is in a brick shape within the hall. Does the space have any shape? But it looks like a brick shape within the hall. See, here in this, it's a round shape of space. Space appears in various shapes, but they are all false appearances. Space by itself is shapeless, formless. All the forms appear. Similarly, the consciousness is one, appears as many shapes, many forms, many relationships. Its appearance is mind. The things are mind, appearances are mind. But the real content, reality of them is witnessing consciousness. That's all. All Vedanta is only simple. It is this much. Ella Vedanta ishte. Innenu helbeku. Heli, afterwards there is nothing remains to be told. So, Mahantam Vibhumatmanam, the Atma which is infinite. Then Atma, infinity, don't say two. Atma is one and its infinity is its quality. Infinity is not its quality. Atma is synonymous to infinity. Infinity is synonymous to Atma. Okay? Infinity is Atma. Atma is infinity. Atma is existence. Existence is synonymous to consciousness. We can't say that consciousness is existing or existing is consciousness. They are not two. They are not two aspects. Consciousness and existence are not two aspects. Consciousness is synonymous to existence. Existence is synonymous to consciousness. Infinity is synonymous to existence. Existence is synonymous to consciousness. All are same. All the words mean the same. Therefore, Mahantam Vibhumatmanam Matva Dhiro Nashochati. When we understand these things, your mind itself dissolves into it. Mind becomes one with consciousness. One who knows this truth, he becomes free from samsara. He becomes free from all sorrow, all frustrations, all worries, all tensions, all fears. He has nothing. Because he is free from death, free from fear, free from sorrow, free from worries, everything. Nashochati, the one word. Shoka Rahita. Shoka is sorrow. Shoka is worry, sorrow, all kinds of sufferings. He becomes free. That is moksha. Moksha means liberation. Liberation from individuality. Liberation from mind. Liberation from the world. Because the world is divisive. So, divisive, limited, all missing, suffering and everything. So therefore, that liberation from this world, liberation from division, liberation from limitedness, and it is a freedom. The freedom, Atma, consciousness, existence, they are all synonyms. They are all just synonyms. Okay. Therefore, iti jagarita drushtam swaprapanchatvam swapne vebicharati. Swamiji's language is so beautiful. He is very good at Kannada. I don't know how good is his English, but that English people should say. But his Sanskrit is beautiful. His Kannada also I can't say. The people Kannadigas should say how Kannada is good. But his Sanskrit is beautiful Sanskrit. Just like Shankaracharya's Sanskrit. I think we have to learn Sanskrit for sake of his book. Such a simple, beautiful, idiomatic Sanskrit. Each sentence is so beautiful that you feel like reading again and again just for sake of language. See, it is in such a simple and beautiful Sanskrit. Jagarita drishtam saprapanchatvam swapne vyabicharati. Shankaracharya's language is also like that. He learnt from Shankaracharya that beauty of his language. He was a poet. He composed Sanskrit shlokas and bhajans. He was a poet. And he has got a very good artistic, see, such a language is Sanskrit language. And at the same time, philosopher, Vedantin. And he was a mathematics teacher. Do you know that? Sachidananda Swamiji was a mathematics teacher. He taught mathematics to his students, his brahmacharis. He was good at mathematics. He was a very logical thinker. Very good poet also. All this is combined in one thing. Amazing personality. Jagarita drishtam saprapanchatvam swapne vyabicharati. So the whole waking world is not there. Where? In the consciousness. How do you know? Because the consciousness extends beyond waking, illumining the dream. We refer to dream only to show how consciousness is extending beyond waking, that's all. We refer to dream to show how consciousness is extending beyond waking. So the waking world drops off, drops means dissolves, consciousness extends, survives. How do you know? Dream is an example to prove how consciousness survives, extends beyond waking. So jagarita drishtam swaprapanchatvam swapne vyabicharati. The world of subject-object duality, time, space, relationship, all this world dissolves and consciousness alone remains, illumining the dream. Similarly, jagarite drishtam, when the waking state, when the consciousness is illumining the waking, dream is dissolved. So dream and waking, they mutually dismiss each other. Waking dismisses dream, dream dismisses waking, both of them get dismissed in consciousness. So in the basis of consciousness, both of them dismiss each other. They kill each other simultaneously, waking and dream. Therefore, jagarite cha swapna drishtam prapanchapa prapanchabhasopadikatvam ityatah tadubhaya sakshinam ahameva saha. Therefore, I am the witness of both of them. I means, you can't use the word I, because I is only a word refers to this individual I. Okay, it is beyond individual, it is a whole infinite cosmic I. And the cosmic I cannot be, see, the word I is used in contrast with you or with this. Any word is used in contrast with certain other words. So I first person, I is used in contrast with you or third person, he or she. So the I is only a relative word. But Atma is infinite, relative word doesn't apply. When you understand, the very language fails. Because language fails. Because language is relative. But Atma is much more than that. It is non-relational. Then the language fails. This is what we say, Atma is beyond words, beyond mind. When we say, this is what it means. Language fails there. Language doesn't work. Then why are you speaking then? How do you speak? We have to impose the language and use it. We have to impose one word and use it. And you understand it. It is something like, I think I have told this example before. This way our Guruji would say, our Orthodox Guru. He knows Hindi alone, he doesn't know this thing. And he asked Shishya, the disciple asked the same thing. You say it is beyond words, so then why are you speaking again then? Then if I don't speak, can I teach you through silence? If I remain silent, you won't understand. What can I do? Silence is also a good medium. Silence means you drop your individuality, you are existing. But silent is unable to communicate because you are unable to grasp. You are unable to get it. Then he asked him, bring some water. The Shishya went and brought some water in a tumbler. In a tumbler he brought it. He asked him, "Ye kya laya hai?" In Hindi he would tell that. What have you brought? He says, "Guruji, pani laya hun." He said, "I brought water." "But what is this?" "No, it is a tumbler." "Then did I ask you to bring the tumbler?" Tumbler means one vessel. Okay? "Did I ask you? Did I ask you to bring a tumbler? Why did you bring it?" Then he was shocked. Say, we are always afraid of our gurus. Guru means we are terribly afraid. Because out of respect for him. Because we shouldn't hurt him. Whatever he says, he abuses, he calls, anything we would accept it. Because we have to learn from him. And then anything is only teaching. Even his abuse also teaching alone. Anything he does, it is a learning. So he says, "What is this? What have you brought it?" He says, "For Maharaj, par kaise laaye?" Maharaj, kaise? So Maharaj, how can I bring it then? "I brought water." "I asked water. Why did you bring the tumbler?" Then say, "Then what am I to do? Water, I can't bring water just like that without a vessel. Can you bring water without vessel?" Then he told that, "Maharaj, then I don't know what to do." Similarly, Just as when I asked you to bring water, you brought with a vessel. But vessel is not for eating. Okay? Vessel is water alone, you drink, you leave out the vessel. Therefore, I tell you, I asked you to bring water, you brought the water with vessel. I take water and leave out the vessel. Okay? I take the water and leave out the vessel. So, water is brought, swallowed, vessel is left out. Similarly, you use the language, once you understand, language drops off and you understand. Isn't it? You bring through a water vessel, but vessel is not for eating. You bring water, takes the water and leaves the vessel. So similarly, we use the language as adhyaropa and leave, so the listener, the word, the purpose of the word is draw your attention from the word, from the world, draw your attention, divert your attention from the mind to your sakshi. When the mind is, attention is diverted towards the sakshi, mind drops off, my words also drop off. So words come and drop off, you remain a sakshi. So this is how language comes and goes away, falls off, and you understand the truth. So this is a knack of using the language. Language can teach what is beyond language. Language can communicate what is beyond language. So you impose the language, you impose the words, use it. Similarly, that means the vessel is imposed on water. When you ask it to bring water, the vessel is imposed on water. Comes, it takes the water and leaves out the vessel. Swamiji gives example. This our Guruji, Hindi Guruji would tell. But Swamiji, Satchidananda Swamiji would give example of a scaffolding. Scaffolding means, the pillars, the wooden pillars you put for, I don't know what you call in Kannada, for the cement ceiling. When you make a cement ceiling, you put the wooden pillars. On that you put the cement, you lay the concrete ceiling. After it, then you pour water for curing. Once it becomes stable, you remove them. These pillars, the scaffolding he calls them. The scaffolding is there as a tentative. Once the ceiling is ready, scaffolding is removed. The ceiling can stand without scaffolding. Similarly, language is used to turn your attention from the world, mind, relationship, individuality, everything. Once attention turns, when the mind turns inward, what happens? Mind goes away, mind itself dissolves into Atma, the mind which is trying to understand itself ceases to mind and becomes the Atma. Mind ceases to be mind and becomes the very Sakshi. Then what does the mind do? How does the mind understand? Mind understands by becoming part of the Atma. Mind itself, because mind is mind only in relations. In relational shape, form, division, in these relationships alone mind exists. In thinking, thought means a relationship. Then mind has to transcend thoughts. That means mind drops all relationships, all thoughts, mind itself becomes Atma. That is the way you understand. When the mind itself becomes the Sakshi, that is the way. Then where is the mind? Mind has become already Sakshi. That is the way of understanding. Then mind ceases to mind, and at the same time you understand the truth. Both happen simultaneously. Mind ceases to be mind, and you understand the truth also. Both simultaneous. Therefore, then you tentatively assume, like you see in space, no shape is possible, but you tentatively assume this is a round shape, this is another shape, leafy shape, the leaf, and then shape, what is a triangular, then rectangular, then all these various shapes you artificially create. Similarly, in that within the Atma, this world and etc. artificially imagined relationship. So the worldly transactions, here is another person, here is one person, he is talking to another person, that person, this person, talking, all this is Atma only. But we assume tentatively, like in a drama, here is one person, as if he is another person, he is talking to somebody else. That person is also me, this person is also me, talking is also me. But they are all just falsely imagined for sake of all vyavahara. Vyavahara means this transaction. Sometimes you speak within yourself. Have you ever seen? You speak within yourself. Can I do these things? Your mind says that no, it is not right, not now, we'll do tomorrow. He says, no, tomorrow will be too late, no, I have to do today. Within you become two people and talk. Who are those two? You are the same person. Within you, they are two. the playing cards in India, I don't know what you call them. There are some paper strips, they call them ace and etc. They play cards. I don't know, cards you call them. I saw some boy, he asked somebody to play with him. And then nobody is willing, everybody is busy. That boy says, I'll pay myself. He will allot a few strips to somebody else, and he himself opens this and he plays. He opens that and again plays. Both he himself plays. See, if nobody himself is there, he himself becomes a batman, he himself becomes a bowler. He hits it and leaves the bat and goes and runs and brings the ball. Again takes it and he hits it. Both he himself is the bowler, he himself is a batsman. Similarly, whole world is me, person is me, interaction is me, everything is within my consciousness, within me, Atma, nothing is outside me. This understanding is Atma. Okay, I think time is up. We'll stop with this. This is the way we have to understand. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Narayana.